Welcome to A Word from the Wise, the Solwise podcast. We come to you the beginning of each month where we talk about products that we do, news in the industry, and just anything that we think you might be interested in. You can hear us on Spotify, Amazon Music, we can be seen on video on YouTube, or just find us wherever you normally get your podcasts from. Hello and welcome to A Word from the Wise, the podcast from Solwise, which comes out supposedly every month, but sometimes has time off for Christmas. This month we're going to talk about the EnGenius Fit Range, which is a new controller managed system from EnGenius, and historically we've done the Neutron system and then their cloud system. So we shall discuss that this month. We will be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music and podcast, wherever you get your podcasts from, but we have got some of the kit with us, so if you do want to see any of it, either pop over to our website or catch us on YouTube, and we'll be able to show you some. So we might as well get to it. It's me, I'm Louise Barrett, and Daniel from Tech Support.
Hiya.
So firstly, what is EnGenius Fit?
It is a range of managed wireless and networking equipment, like previous EnGenius ranges, like you mentioned, EnGenius Cloud and EnGenius Neutron or NSky. EnGenius Fit is cloud-based, but it also has an on-premises version as well, so it's quite versatile in that regard. It's trying to cover all bases. It's sort of split into the actual equipment, like the EnGenius Fit access points and EnGenius Fit switches. Those are universal, but there are two versions of the controller methods that you can use basically for whether you want it on cloud or on premises.
So do you think what they've done is, rather than having two separate systems, they've got the one system that can be used in two ways? Is that what you mean by that?
So
right,
that they can appeal to all markets.
And can you use them across the two ways, or is it kind of one or the other?
Yeah, well, as I said, the equipment itself, EnGenius Fit equipment, can be used across both.
Right.
But for instance, apps and web portals and stuff that you would use for one can't necessarily use for the other.
Right.
And in terms of how they've tried to differentiate two versions, so I'll say what they're called. There's NExpress, that's meant to be kind of like the light version, which is purely cloud-based and is all managed via an app or a web utility, but I think they expect people to be using the app for that.
And that's an app on your phone, is it?
Yeah, literally just a mobile app.
Right, okay. If you didn't have the app on your phone, could you use the app on a computer as well? Or would that... There's
a computer. I don't know if that is necessarily out yet. Obviously they're going to be working on it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What makes it different from the previous systems?
Something, not necessarily much. It depends how you're going to be using it.
Is that a difficult question?
It's sort of difficult because
yeah.
There's not a lot that's different in terms of the equipment itself. In fact, some of the equipment it's literally just versions of what we've done previously. Like
because they've done that from the naming convention, haven't they? So like a 357
this is an EWS
has become a 357 Fit. Yeah.
That doesn't look like the EWS 357, but it's got the same model name, which basically means it's the same specifications.
And the same units, probably.
Yeah.
Do they have different chipsets then?
No, the difference is all in how it's controlled. Right. So, EnGenius Fit Express, which is the purely cloud-based management system, the one that's all done via the app, that one, it's kind of... They think of that as the one that you would use if you're not necessarily well versed in managing a network, like being an IT person.
Yeah.
So that's why it's mainly done via an app. And it's very easy to add new items onto the app. They have QR codes on the back of them that you can just scan with your phone, and that adds them onto this controller solution, which you can then go through like a wizard to change the Wi-Fi name and other things like that.
So that's been simplified in such a way that you don't have to have an IT installer do it. You could, if you were a caravan park, for instance, you could do this yourself, or or a small business that's not an IT business.
That's the idea of that. They're
Excellent.
very heavily focused on making that one easy to use for anyone that would possibly need this kind of equipment.
Yeah.
So whether that's on a caravan park, or if it's a small office, or like a restaurant or a bar, something like that.
Do you feel this is aimed more at the smaller business, whether you get an IT person in or not to fit it? Is it aimed more at the smaller business?
Yes, because it has a smaller limit. You can get up to 30 different devices managed all on one Fit Express app.
Yeah.
So that will be enough for most, obviously, small scale solutions, but if you're in like a very large office environment, that might not be enough.
So you could compare it it might be good for like a big primary school, but not for a big secondary school, for instance.
Yeah.
So like a big primary school might have, say, 300 or 400 kids in it and multiple rooms, but if you've got a school, say, with 2,000 kids and all of the rooms that come with that, it might not be quite so suitable for that.
Yeah. In that kind of scenario, you'd be looking at the other version of this EnGenius Fit,
Right.
which is the EnGenius Fit controller.
Right.
And so, whereas the Fit Express it's all cloud-based, you don't need any kind of central controller, you don't even need to have the access points all plugged into an EnGenius Fit switch, although you still can do for the PoE. For the Fit controller, you need an on-site controller called I think it's the Fit Control 100, something like that.
That's this black thing here.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
Anyone who's watching, it's one of these. It looks like a switch, but with only just 2 ports on the end, doesn't it? So
you would have a separate switch which you've got all your stuff plugged into, and then you just connect this onto the network. And if it's connected to the network, then you can go into its interface, and it will detect any EnGenius Fit compatible devices on the network, and you can add them and control them like that.
So what's available then? Is it all indoor stuff, or is there a mixture?
At the moment, it's only indoor. There is going to be outdoor access points.
So they'll come in soon.
Yeah, we don't have them yet.
And the switches, are they all PoE switches, or?
They're all PoE. They range from 8 ports to 48 port. And I think they're all PoE plus as well, which means you can get extra range from them than you would from a normal PoE switch.
Okay.
So it gives you a bit extra room to be more versatile with where you mount your devices.
So currently then, we've got 2 access points and an 8-port switch in stock, so they're readily available, which is the 357 and the 377 Fit, as far as I can remember.
Yep.
We've got the 2910 Fit switch, which is the 8-port one, and then we've got the Fit controller. So I think we're good for that. Everything else is still coming through. There's an 850, that's the outdoor device, if I remember rightly, yeah?
Yeah, the outdoor access point.
Yeah. So really, to finish off then, my last question is if you've got Neutron, NSky or Cloud in place already, can you use this with it?
No. You can. There can be a bit of continuity if you have a standard EWS 357, 377 or 850 on the latest firmware and like the latest version of that device. You can convert them to be EnGenius Fit compatible.
Oh, can you? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I've only just found out myself.
You've learnt that today, have you? You've done the webinar, have you, this morning? Right, okay. Maybe I should have gone to that webinar.
You can't do it the other way around, so if you've got an EnGenius Fit device, you can't, not quite downgrade, because it's not a downgrade, but you can't convert it to be compatible with EnGenius EWS NSky or anything like that. But any other devices, so like the EAP 1250 or the EWS 330 or whatever, they can be plugged into an EnGenius Fit switch, and they can be used on a network with EnGenius Fit access points, but they can't be managed or controlled by it.
Okay.
So if you had those devices, you might have to put in, like, perhaps use both systems side by side.
Yeah. So it's only the 357, the 377 and the 850 that you can convert to
all the ones that are Wi-Fi 6 basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that would make sense.
All the EnGenius Fit access points are Wi-Fi 6. So obviously that's the newest, fastest version of Wi-Fi.
Right. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Daniel.
You're welcome.
So we will share this across our social feeds and so on, and hopefully we'll see some interesting installations. It could be quite nice to get some case studies on this one. So if anyone does put some kit in, then definitely come back to us and let us know what you've done, take some photos, and we'll happily put a case study or a use case on the website, because they're really useful, those, I think, for people to see exactly how others use them. So it'd be really good.
Also on the website, if you did need any more detailed information, there's an article I wrote of it the other day about this range, which just goes into a bit more detail about what we've discussed.
Excellent. All right, well, we can put the link to that in the comments below. So thank you very much. So thank you very much. We will see you all next month, and as usual, you see us on YouTube or hear us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. As usual, you can get our podcast on YouTube and watch us there, or you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can email us, sales@solwise.co.uk, or if you've got any ideas for future podcasts, that would be really useful. Again, email in or email me directly, louise@solwise.co.uk. Visit our website for further information on all the products that we feature. Thank you very much.